Good afternoon guys, and welcome to today's vlog. Back at the old Barracks again, myself and Adventures of Paul, who you might just see creeping through a gap down there. Today we find ourselves at the old RAF USA AF Battle Command station, which was Thurleigh back in the Second World War, based to the infamous B-17 Flying Fortresses, likes of Memphis Belle, which is more of a fictional play on what they used to do. It was actually, we did do 25 missions, but nothing quite significant as what Hollywood would make it out to be. Anyway, we're here seeing what remains of the old ruins, the old, I guess they're plumbing area, workstations, etc. Part of the barracks possibly. But anyway guys, come and join us. So these are little outbuildings. The way the mesh is built up is as if it's perhaps, well, they would have kept police dogs. I know there was a pen area because this wasn't always World War II. Electric's been stripped out. I think you can safely turn around and say that these blocks have had some farm use. Would not have straw on the ground otherwise, and a very old fan, very old dial on the door. Haven't got a clue what that's about. As I said guys, I think probably around the period of the Cold War this was a pen area. You see the kennels down there. Would have kept the old police dogs. Our old friend nature is certainly starting to take over again. Pretty much same old, loads of barns this end. It's like a well-trodden path. Every urbexer, urban explorer finds their own way through, but there's usually a massive opening at a gate somewhere. And this brings us round to the back of where the radar tower, I believe that is, sits, and then there's all these outbuildings here. I think they're like maintenance blocks. You have to watch your footing because our old friend, all these weeds snag you up, catch hold of you. Yeah, pretty cool. I think I've already seen our access point. Certainly won't be through a broken window, but there is, as you can clearly see, doorways. Adventures of Paul is a bit of a brave man, but I don't even think he would consider doing that. Believe it, as I said, to be a radar tower. It looks like it's something out of a concentration camp. Right guys, we've got our way in. Oh, it just gives us a little bit of shelter from the pretty horrendous weather out there, and it's got them eerie vibes because the wind hailing around is blowing a lot of the loose doors and windows, so they're making clattering noises as we're walking around. Old fuse boxes, as per usual at this moment in time. Paul will go right, I'll go left, so we get to produce our own videos and not being on top of each other. So as I said, significant barn use for livestock, possibly sheep, cattle. There has been wild animals in here as well. Waterworks. So I think at one point would there have been a fireplace there, but that's the outside wall, so no, it wouldn't have been. Just spooked out one or two pigeons, so they've scuttled away. Nothing worse than them dive bombing you as you're walking around. And that there is the old airfield. See the old control tower there in the distance. That's not Second World War, that's Cold War. It's just the shape and the glass and the way it's been purchased. You would find more of, like we done at Finmere the other week, is your Second World War type, more of a square block. So this area here is, I believe they called it RAE or RAF Thurleigh. Before that it was USAAF, United States Air Force, and they used to fly the old B-17 flying fortresses out of here during the Second World War. I don't know whether this was an area where they used to do repairs on them, etc. Well, these corridors go back forever. But one significant character who was based here for a period of time was one Manny Cleet, otherwise known as Emmanuel Cleet. And saying the name Cleet, think of Lee Van Cleet, the old spaghetti western gunslinger. That's the sort of pronunciation of it. He was based here, would fly the American B-17 bombers, and it's a significant event that happened, which I've happened to vlog about, which happened at the training barracks at RAF Wing, that brought him notoriety. Very dark in there. He himself, his B-17 Flying Fortress, on his return from the mission, both engines failed, and I believe the undercarriage was damaged, landing gear was struggling to work, and so he was forced to have a little bit of a dilemma. Did he crash into the runway, or did he try and save himself and his fellow crew? Which is of course what he tried to do. And the way he tried to do that was he see a thicket area, kind of like a little wooded area, just on the outskirts of Wing Airport. And he's come in and he's decided to drop this somewhat 20-ton Flying Fortress, going at the speed of about 80 miles an hour, and drop that onto the forest area, the thicket area below, believing it'd belly flop, cushion the landing, and they'd all get out safely. Little did he know, as they ploughed into them trees, that it was packed solid full of oak trees, which do not move. So the plane nosedived, and they were all pretty much severely injured, but he did make a comeback, and he flew the last ever bombing raid of the Second World War. And also his story helped bring to life the much fabled film The Memphis Belle. It's sort of, Memphis Belle is not supposed to be about the plane, the incidents that went through. To be honest with you, it's 25 missions, could have been seen as pretty much lackluster. Didn't have a lot of the incidents that happened as you see them. Pretty much like, I watched the film last year, was it called Cocaine Bear? And it turned around and said that basically he took some of these drugs and went off and started attacking each other, when in fact what he did do is take the drugs, run 100 metres, collapsed and died. But it's just the way that Hollywood pumps these things up. But Manny Cleet's adventures were strong in the mind of the producers when they brought the Memphis Belle film to life. Certainly check out that vlog, which I've done, it must be a couple of years ago now. So this place gives you the vibes like anything else that is RAF. That of Bletchley Park. It's just the way that you see the coloration, you get the separate colour at the bottom, although that's more of a dark green, and this is more of a, I guess, a teal colour. It's lovely to walk through though, guys. The animals will certainly be in here. There's drop-ins everywhere. And when I say drop-ins, the likes of sheep. that this is very me. A rustic old place falling apart at the seams. A bit like myself, I guess. Obviously a bit of humour there by those guys who worked here. I said this is post Second World War, I'd turn around and say. Whereas our dear friends, the Americans, love their B-17 Flying Fortress, our romantic plane of the period would obviously be the Avro Lancaster, synonymous with the Dam Busters and the bouncing bomb. They never flew those from here. This would have been one of those old bin bag holders. Seriously old fuses. Does this mean that people sleep in rough? It just gets you that these places, the corridors, the rooms, the doors, go on forever and ever. Seriously old workbenches. Woodworm taking effect. Of them, I would say they were Second World War. Just the fact that they look like they're made of odds and sods of pieces of wood, which would have been very much back in the day. Anything from that era, you got to think, if you're looking at things that are maybe steel, metal of some form, it was very much at a premium, and they would have needed it for other purposes. I could of course get the torch out plenty of times, but this kind of adds to it. Wow, look at that. That is seriously old. Always gets me with the height of these places. Well, they think everyone was like 9, 10 feet tall at that period of time. I suppose the Americans were. My grandfather, in comparison, was a little dot, barely 5'6". Although saying that, he was a real powerhouse. British Armed Forces boxing champion. I haven't got a clue how Paul's getting on. This place is certainly like a maze. But it is of real significance. There he is. Peter. Must be another toilet block. Lovely. Gents, because obviously the urinals would have been over there. Bird at some point has had a little family home in there. Wow. This is seriously deceptive. You can easily get lost. Lovely little old boiler there. So this is your pump house. The boiler unit. Might be wrong, I know nothing about that sort of thing, but it just comes across as being that way. Make our way into another block. Oh, this is a huge working space. The old doors bang behind you, freak the life out of you. More old electrics. Some serious old drawers there. British Gliding Association. So it did have some life before it became a dumping ground for your cars. Here we go, guys. It's in reverse. That is a B17, I'm pretty sure it is. Kim Bolton. I wonder whether that is also abandoned. Someone's actually stolen some of the stickers. How sad is that? How cool is that? That you got. It's the old beer bottle opener and loads of caps. It's all modern though. Roche. Everything in here apart from the kitchen sink. Oh, I lied. Gives off the vibes that someone's been tortured in here, doesn't it? A couple of just random chairs planted in here, an interrogation area. Obviously somewhere where the youngsters have hung about. There's an old monitor screen over there. Some sort of dark fluid material. Dare say that's an old engine oil. Bread bin. And an old Bush TV set. Well, this certainly belongs on site because that says number 2 hanger on it. One thing for sure, guys, these units have all seen better days. Emergency exit kick out. I wonder what that would be for. Purpose of that, obviously, it's at lower level. You'd kick out and you'd all scramble out the building. Probably because of, here you go, it probably would have sat somewhere like that. Obviously, the likes of explosives, chemicals. More workbenches. See, look, this has gone the other colour. This is more your Bletchley Park dark green, whereas the other one was more of a sky blue. This last one to this time, or this side should I even say, spit my words out, single use barn. What they were kept in here, God only knows. Possibly parts of aircraft, not saying a full aircraft, but maybe bits that they were working on. I'm saying whatever that was, a fox possibly got hold of it. Looking at the size of the foot, I'm guessing rabbit. Poor little sod. I have zero idea what that thing was. First thought was it was one of them armadillo type things, but obviously not. Comes across as being pretty much like office space. Not a bad bit of art there. Better than just having a general tag of oils here. Okay, a kitchen area. Cars in there. Another old workstation. Pigeon that has certainly seen better days. Hut number 160 is an old Second World War Nissan hut. Basically concrete at the front and the back is your base, and then corrugated steel. There's like an oval mesh that goes over the top. Kind of an outbuilding. But all of the places around here would have been like this originally. Not a lot left in here. A few power sockets lying around. But obviously again, used for local, maybe sheep, cattle. Anyway guys, that's going to do it for today's vlog. It's been pretty much a cool visit. Pretty much unrushed. No one hanging around. It's just been myself and Adventures of Paul, left our own devices in this wonderful place. Easy access. The fence itself has got more holes than Swiss cheese, so I've read elsewhere and it is actually true. I actually see a guy recently come along with a friend of his and he only actually had one leg, so bless him, he can do it, so can you guys. Thank you so much for watching. We will see you in the movies. Bye for now.